Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're jumping back into DC Dark Legion, and today we're going to talk about gearing. And when we talk about gearing your team, there's things that we need to take a look at. First is kits. What does your kit say? That's going to lead you to your stats. And then we're going to talk about stats and what they do. Those stats are going to lead you to the different types of gear that you're going to need for the different teams that you have, for the different characters. This is one of the most requested videos, so I'm glad to finally put it together and get it out to everybody. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Just a quick reminder, all the links to my socials are in the description below, so definitely check it out. Join us on Discord. We got a great community forming over there, everybody helping everybody. If you want to be part of the tier list conversations and see what's coming up with that, you can join us over there as well. Lots of cool stuff, a lot of great people over there, so definitely check it out. All right, so gearing. When we talk about gearing, I said there's a couple things to take a look at. Kits, stats, and then that's going to lead you to your gear, right? So for instance, when we take a look at healers, some healers, they'll heal more based off their attack, or they'll heal more based off their HP. So we really want to pay attention to that, right? So let's just take a look. For example, I'm going to go over to Green Arrow, take a look at his kit. So right here, his physical damage, so you want to pay attention to that as well, because that really comes into play with some of the kits, some of the gear that you're going to be equipping your team with. But physical damage equal to a certain percentage of his attack. So attack is one that you really want to focus on for him. Let's see, what else does he have? Again, attack, physical damage. Over here, we've got physical damage, again, based on attack. And then this one here, this looks at crit rate up. So there's a few different things to take a look at. Because of that, what I did is I geared him with this Darkstar Exo Mantle. I really like this set. It gives physical penetration plus 8%, because we know that he does physical damage. And then also ultimate damage increases by 20%. So that's a huge percentage increase in damage to your ultimate. A couple things to look at as far as stats. Let's just take a look at gear effects. Just click this right here. If you want to know what any stat does, then you just go in here and you click on it. So attack, obviously 1 point of attack increases damage dealt by 1. So the more attack you have, the more damage you're going to do. If you take a look at crit rate, it increases your chance to land critical hits. So right now he's at 7.92%. You have crit resistance here, which is your resistance to crit. Damage resistance as well reduces the critical damage taken. So where crit reduces your chance to take critical hits, critical damage if a hit lands, it's going to help reduce the damage that you actually take. This one was a weird one for me. Spiritual amplification increases the range of your spiritual damage. When I think about that one, I think my mind immediately goes to Black Adam. Black Adam's ultimate is spiritual damage. The rest of his kit is physical. So it really kind of depends on how you want to gear him, right? If you want to gear him more towards his ultimate, which is what I prefer. But this, his range is limited. So this, theoretically, is going to help increase that range so he can hit that back row when he's in the back row. Dodge. So this one here came up in Discord. Dodge increases your chance to dodge physical attacks. Plain and simple. So he's got a 0% chance he's going to get hit with physical attacks every time. It doesn't prevent you, or doesn't allow you to dodge from other types of damage, like your spiritual damage and things like that. When what comes into play with that kind of stuff is your resistances, right? So we have physical penetration, spiritual penetration. We have cooldowns here. So you can see this right here. Spiritual penetration increases spiritual damage. Physical penetration increases physical damage. So if you ever want to know something, you go into here and take a look at it. And see what it says. Here's mental. So when I was talking about resistances, this reduces spiritual damage taken. So you won't dodge spiritual damage with dodge, but you can reduce the damage you take with this. I think this is mental, or something like that. I wish they'd spell it all out. So always take a look at this. Also, when you're switching gear, let's just say I'm gonna switch gear to this right here. You see all of this right here, your ups and your downs. Always take a look at that. But if you expand this here, you're going to see that for everything. So HP is going to go up. All of that's going to go down. You can see what else is going to increase and decrease. So always take a look at that as well to see if it's a good switch for you. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at one other character, and then I'm going to show you a list that I put together. All right. Now let's go take a look at Ivy. This is an example of a more complex kit. So let's go and take a look here. So as I was mentioning earlier, healers sometimes will heal based on attack or HP. You really got to take a look at the kit to figure out what that is. So here, right here, Poison Ivy releases green energy as vines grow beneath her, healing allies by 210% of her attack. So here's where attack comes into play for her. You can also see that she does physical damage based on her attack as well. So something to keep in mind for her kit. However, if we take a look at some of her skills, so this one here, Poison Ivy summons a Thorny Ivy next to an enemy. It inherits 25% of Poison Ivy's max HP. So what do you want to build her for? More healer, more attack? Do you want to do kind of a combination of the two? But they also do physical damage based off her attack as well. Let's take a look at another one here. This one here, again, HP. It inherits 25% of Poison Ivy's max HP and 100% of her other attributes every 6 seconds. This is Bloom of Life. And then this final one here, Death's Embrace, physical damage, 285% of her attack. So the way that I've built her, when I take a look at the gear, I went with Starwear on this one for right now. That was the best that I had at the time. So we increase her attack, so we're focused on that. We also increase physical penetration, so that increases her damage as well as the damage of her vines when they get thrown out there. Their HP is going to be a little bit lower, so what I do is I'll take a look and see if there's anything that is going to increase my attack, or maybe my attack stays flat but my HP goes up. I never want to bring my attack down because I don't want to reduce my total overall healing, because I use her for healing quite a bit. So there's a little bit of a balance there. And right now, there's no real good higher gear set. We'll take a look at some of those. That really benefits her right now. We got shield strength here on this one. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So that's more of a complex kit, and I went more towards the attack and the physical penetration, but kept an eye on HP to help with the vines. So that's what I put her in, was all Starwear, which is this is a great gear set for a lot of characters. For your physical penetration characters, which most of them in the game they do physical penetration. This is a great overall set. All right, so we talked about kits. We talked about the stats. We talked about how to take a look at what each stat does, and also when you swap gears, how you can see overall, not just that little snippet on the top left, but overall all the stats that increase or decrease. So let's take a look at some of the gear sets. When we go into crafting here, I've got all of them unlocked except for these final two. I've got to get my armory up to 20 and then 22 to get those unlocked. But each one of these are a little bit different. The challenge here is when you go in here, it doesn't tell you what this crafts, right? So you can't see what the 2-piece and the 5-piece bonuses are. So I went ahead and put everything together. This is what I've got. So let's talk through this list. I'll leave a link to this in the description below. This is where all of my stuff is happening, by the way. So you're probably going to see like some tabs down here at the bottom of me experimenting with some stuff. You can see my tier list down here and everything. But this one here is on the DCDL gearing guide. So when we take a look at the crafting sets, these beginning ones, all they do is craft exactly what it says. And you can see what the 2-piece and the 5-piece bonus is. I've also put my suggestions as far as where I feel they're best used for the different types of classes. Also character suggestions in here as well. This Stag Biomech, I had just unlocked that, so I'm still trying to figure some of that out. So you'll see me fill these in over the course of probably today or tomorrow. But let's take a look at a few of these, right? So Themyscirian armor, you can see that is plus 8% on a 2-piece for HP, and the mental plus 20% there, which gives you that spiritual resistance. Here, when you take a look at this stuff, I put tanks or enemy specific. The reason why I put enemy specific is maybe you're going to go against a boss battle or something like that, where that boss does spiritual damage more than any other damage. So that resistance is going to help quite a bit. When you take a look at the JCO, this is where you have the Cyberware and the Starwear. So you have the spiritual and physical penetration, so you got some increased damage there. So like spiritual penetration, if you want to build your Black Adam more towards his ultimate, then I would probably put him in this because it increases his attack as well as his spiritual penetration. Physical penetration here is going to work again overall for a lot of characters. So like most characters I put in there. Black Adam, Joker for that spiritual penetration. Joker, brand new character in the game. This Exotech here. So you can see kind of how I built this, right? Damage right here. This is a great, this rocket red damage, especially crit focus characters. So when you take a look at crit focus characters, what comes to mind is like Red Robin. Let's go ahead, let's jump into the game here really quick. If we go over to Red Robin and take a look at his kit, where is he at? Right here. And we take a look at this specifically. After dealing crit damage, Red Robin's attack increases by 25%, and his defense and his mentality, whatever that is, increases by 50% for 5 seconds. So he gets an increase in attack and defense as well, which is one of the reasons why he's such a good off tank. I use him quite a bit for off tanking. So again, crit. So keep in mind some of those things in their kits that give additional bonuses. So I put him in, it should be the Rocket Red, right? Yeah, I put him in the Rocket Red here. I was missing a piece, so I got to fill that in as well. When we take a look at some of the other kits or the other gear, some of it makes sense, some of it not so much. So when we take a look at, let's go Kryptonian here. Yeah, Kryptonian. Make sure you take a look at what the gear set does and how it might fit in the different game modes. So this one specifically, this is a crit one, and crit damage increases by 22.5% against enemies with less than 50% HP. This could be a good Red Robin as well. The crit rate increase is not as much as the Rocket Red, so that's why I have him in Rocket Red. But this is not a good combat cycle gear set because you will never get the boss down below 50%. It's not going to happen. So you don't want to gear your team up in this gear set to go into CC. This is more for pretty much all the other game modes except for combat cycle. I really like this Dark Star. Physical penetration 8%, ultimate damage increased by 20%. Again, that's huge. So any damage dealer with a physical ult, right? Take a look at what that ult does. Again, right now, most of the damage is going to be physical, so this is going to help with a lot of people. Superman, Green Arrow, I've got it on Catwoman. The cool thing with Catwoman that I like when you take a look at her kit is as you put additional Gotham villains on your team, it increases her dodge, so she can be kind of a pseudo tank. So I don't try and put too much as far as her defense and HP. I'll keep that in mind as I'm gearing her up and increasing the gear levels to gear 4 and gear 8, gear 12, right? Which we're going to talk about that here in just a second as well. So I put her in this gear and it's actually working out really well. So take a look at this. Hopefully this helps you. When you take a look at how to level up your gear, so if you go into here, you have to get your armory up to level 10 before you can start leveling up your gear. And you're going to hit this up arrow right here, and then you're going to sacrifice some of your gear so that you can get that level. You're going to max out at 4 until you can research to higher level gear. How you do that is in your lab. So if you go down into your lab and into your tech, you're going to go into your combat tree, and then you have this T-Tech here. So your first one is right here. This is at lab level 13, which means war room 13. This gives you +4, so that's going to allow you to go up to +8. And the next one is lab 18, and this is expensive and it takes forever. It's 35-hour research, but this is going to go up another 4 levels, which is going to allow you to go up to level 12. There is, I think, 1 or 2 more, so we got this one here. We got to get up to 23, and then I think that might, nope, and then we got this one here, another 4 levels, which lab level 28. Yep, and then that's the end of that. So that's how you level up your gear as well. So a lot here that we discussed. Hopefully it's helpful. Feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Throw comments in the comment section below. What did I miss as far as giving some tips and tricks on gearing your characters? What gear sets are you using most? I'm very interested in hearing from all of you. And definitely, again, put it in the comment section below so everybody benefits. And again, join me on Discord. All right, everybody, I sincerely hope that was helpful. I had a great time putting together, and I will continue to update this. Again, the link's in the description below for the spreadsheet. Go ahead and take a look at it. All right, and that's what I had for you, everybody. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and leave all your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.